All right, it's time to go over our top 20 tight ends for 2024. We do have some changes towards the back end of these rankings based off the last time that we actually went and had these rankings online onto the channel. So the first guy we want to talk about today is going to be Sam Laporta, right? He was a very big part of the Lions offense and kind of shocked everybody as a rookie last season of how dominant he was for fantasy football. Jared Goff had a natural connection to this guy, and not only Amon-Ra St. Brown, but Sam Laporta was really producing for the Lions and fantasy football in general. So we like what he can provide. Sam Laporta, I think, is an easy set it forget it type of tight end. I think he's going a little bit too high in drafts right now. People are kind of reaching on him just a little bit, but if you can get this guy at a good value, I think Sam Laporta is a great anchor at the tight end position for you. Clearly my number one guy for 2024. Coming at number two, we're going over the guy who really is number one almost every single season, and that is going to be Travis Kelce. We saw him maybe break down a little bit last season with a little bit of injury issues. He came back. He was really good, right? But we saw the Chiefs kind of go more towards the running game, kind of saving, Kelce and Mahomes really for the actual NFL playoffs, not necessarily fantasy football playoffs. That's when we really saw Isaiah Pacheco get up there to even 20 carries in some of these games. So what's going to happen in 2024? Are we going to see it more of now Patrick Mahomes really getting out there passing the football? They got people over there like Hollywood Brown, even though he's injured right now as of recording this video. They went out there and drafted Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice, is he going to be suspended or not? Doesn't look like it as of right now to be suspended early on, maybe towards the back end of this season, maybe even next season getting suspended. But what are we going to see from the Chiefs offense in 2024? Either way it goes, Patrick Mahomes has his guy, and that is Travis Kelce. He is the number one option on this offense. Doesn't matter what you guys believe. He is the guy. He's the guy going forward. He's the guy, been the guy for the last several seasons. And I just like Travis Kelce. He's going to be a top-end fantasy tight end. No matter which way you slice this pie, it's going to be all about Travis Kelce. Now, coming here at number three, we got to talk about Mark Andrews, right? So Mark Andrews was injured last season. We saw Isaiah likely really kind of blossom himself to show us what he can do for fantasy football, and it's going to be really, really good as well. But Mark Andrews is back and at it again. And Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, it's almost like Lamar Andrews, right? Like they almost like made a baby. It's that good of a connection that they have. But with all jokes aside, Mark Andrews is the focal point of this offense. Yes, they do have Zay Flowers out there at the wide receiver position. They got newly acquired Derrick Henry back there in the backfield. But when they need a play, when they need a first down, when they need a touchdown, they're going for Mark Andrews. So he is going to definitely be, it wouldn't surprise me, put it this way, if he was the number one tight end in fantasy football in 2024, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Mark Andrews is another set it and forget it type of tight end in a land of a lot of cockadoodle tight ends. This season, we're actually starting to see some tight ends kind of blossom, and I'm liking what I'm seeing, guys. So let's go over to the next guy. Here at number four, we're talking about Trey McBride. McBride showed us last season what he could do over there with Kyler Murray. He was able to do some really good things and show us that he could be a reliable option at the tight end position. Loving what I'm seeing there. They did add over there Marvin Harrison Jr. We have to see, will there be any regression that we see from Trey McBride because of Harrison's presence in this offense, or because he's still a rookie, will McBride still have just the amount of opportunities to succeed as everybody else? We'll have to see what Kyler Murray can do. Can he produce multiple fantasy options in fantasy football? I think he can do it. McBride easily my number four here. If you got him into your drafts, I think he is, again, another one of those set and forget it type of tight ends. Coming here at number five, we're talking about Dalton Kincaid. He should be the number one option for the Bills this season after we've seen the departures from Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. I think now we have Dalton Kincaid as the main target for Josh Allen up there. Yes, they did draft Keon Coleman. They got Curtis Samuel there, and Khalil Shakir is also there at the wide receiver position. But we have to say, hey, look, this is Dalton Kincaid's show at this point. He has to, why did they draft this guy last season? He's got to prove it this year. He kind of proved it last year. He did really, really well. I liked what he saw. I liked what he was producing. Josh Allen trusts this guy at this point. So I think coming here at number five, fifth tight end for me, I think is okay. I'm totally fine with that, especially if you're grabbing a tight end. You can get him at a decent value at this point, and if he becomes the focal point and the number one passing option for this offense and Josh Allen, I think it's an absolute steal. I love what he can provide for you. Coming here at number six, we're talking about George Kittle. This is one of these boom or bust type of tight ends. He can either give you a spike week or he's going to give you a complete dud because maybe he's injured or whatever the case is. So he is a great best ball tight end. One of the best ball tight ends you can have for fantasy leagues. he can sometimes have you over there pulling your hair out because he just didn't give you a week than what he did, because there's so many options, right? There's CMC over there. There's Deebo Samuel. As of right now, there's Brandon Ayuk. Will he be on the team? As of recording this video, we still don't know what's going on, if he's going to be in the 49ers or being traded. We just don't know. They got the rookie first-round pick, Ricky Pearsall, now in there in the mix. So we'll have to see, right? There's a lot of option for Brock Purdy to get the football to. But no matter which way you want to slice this pie, Brock Purdy's getting the football to George Kittle in quite a few games, which makes him an elite tight end in my book. I like George Kittle for 2024. Guys, moving right here along here to number 7, I'm going with Evan Ingram, right? He's somebody that we see Trevor Lawrence has a lot of love for. He puts up a lot of targets, had the most targets from any tight ends in 2023, and I think he's going to continue that trend in 2024. Can give you a lot of points if you really want it. And guess what, guys? I put him at the end of my elite tier. A lot of content creators don't even have him in their elite tier. How can you not have him as an elite tight end? I think he's phenomenal. He's a big part of the Jaguars offense, and I think in 2024 he's going to pay huge dividends for you if you take the opportunity and draft this guy and put him on your team. Coming here, the number 8, the next guy on the list. Okay, it's Kyle Pitts, right? We see it on the board right now. What is he going to give you? What is Kyle Pitts going to be this season? And you know, we've heard it before, right? This is Kyle Pitts' season. Is it really going to be Kyle Pitts' season? I think it possibly could be. I've never been very high on Pitts because of the quarterback play with the Desmond Ridders and the Marcus Mariotas. I just never been high. I really like Kirk Cousins and what he can provide for an offense, and I think that the connection between him and Pitts could be really, really good. You see him putting up offensive numbers like with TJ Hawkinson, right? Over there with the Vikings. I think it could be really, really strong. He's a big athletic guy who even plays sometimes in a wide receiver position in some of these options. So could be a really good opportunity for you to grab a steal in Kyle Pitts. There's a big chance that Kyle Pitts could be easily a top 5 tight end in 2025. So take the discount as why you can. This season, I think he'll pay good dividends for you if you end up taking the leap and just taking the chance that Kyle Pitts can be pretty good for you. So coming here at number 9, I'm going David Njoku, right? And a lot of people say, well, look, David Njoku wasn't good with Deshaun Watson. He was only good with Joe Flacco. But this is what I say. If Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback, and by all means they paid him to be a good quarterback, and he didn't see what Joe Flacco was able to do in this offense with Njoku, he doesn't deserve to be a quarterback, right? We saw what happens with Njoku when given the opportunity. He can be a top flight fantasy football tight end. He can produce numbers, right? So if Deshaun Watson isn't out there putting up these numbers and given the opportunities there for David Njoku, I just don't see that happen. I think he's going to sit there and he's going to deliver the football to David Njoku, giving him opportunities to succeed into this offense. They added people like Jerry Jeudy on the outside. I think the offense is kind of getting a little bit better. Nick Chubb is coming back, but it'll be a while before he comes back to the offense. I just think that the opportunity is going to be there in this passing game, and David Njoku is going to be a big reason for it. I had to put him in my top 10, which lands him at number 9 for me. Coming in at number 10, we're talking about the touchdown guy himself, Jake Ferguson, the tight end for the Cowboys. This guy we saw last year, he was able to put up a lot of numbers for you and really be productive in this offense. This is an offense that Dak Prescott leads, right? This isn't a run-first offense. They need people to catch the football. It's CeeDee Lamb number 1, and then it's Jake Ferguson after that. I think Ferguson is a good I wouldn't call him elite tight end, but he's a very good tight end. I would say he's great as far as fantasy football goes because he can give you those spike weeks that you need to succeed, and you don't have to pay elite prices for Jake Ferguson. So he's somebody that you may want to look at if you want to go mid-tier type of tight end, don't really want to pay the top premium for a Laporta, Kelsey, or Mark Andrews, then you may be able to take a little bit of a discount and grab Jake Ferguson. Even if you grab the Ferguson-Dak Prescott combo, I think that could lead you pretty far in the promised land. I do like that opportunity right there. Coming here at number 11, we're going over to the rookie, Brock Bowers. I'm going to say rookie tight ends never do anything. Well, look at last year. We had 2 rookie tight ends that did really well in Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid. I think Brock Bowers, he was drafted early into the first round of this NFL draft for the Raiders. They're going to get him the football, right? We know that Gardner Minshew is now named the quarterback for the Raiders. That means Devontae Adams is going to be really good. I think Jacoby Myers is going to be really good. And the other option in this offense that I would want to have a piece of would be Brock Bowers. He's very, very talented, has good route running ability, good hands. He can probably produce for you at the fantasy football level. And I think just in general, seeing what Sam Laporta did and seeing what Dalton Kincaid did is going to make people take more of a chance on Brock Bowers and be a little bit more confident, maybe not totally confident, but a little more confident in a rookie tight end, right? right? And I think that's what Brock Bowers can give you. He's uber talented. I think he's a good spot. I'm not ready to put him in my top 10 just as of yet, but I have him here at number 11. So come here at number 12, somebody who jumped up a couple spots. For me, that's going to be Cole Kmet. Looking at this offense, a lot of people are saying, well, look, the target share is not going to be there. The target's not going to be there for Cole Kmet, but I just want to do a little bit of a pushback here, right? So people are looking at the offense, right? We got DJ Moore, we've got Keenan Allen, we got Rome Odunze. If you're our defensive scheming, right, for this team, you're going to want to probably play a little bit of nickel, a little bit of dime, a little bit of package to kind of blanket all over all these wide receivers. Well, there's going to be somebody running routes underneath that you're going to have to account for, and the safety blanket for a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams. That's going to be Cole Kmet. I think he gets plenty enough targets to be fantasy viable. He could end up as a top 10 tight end, and it would not shock me whatsoever. I had to raise him up into my rankings. I'm really liking Cole Kmet for 2024. Moving right along here at number 13. Had to bump him down just one spot. That is going to be Dallas Goedert. Again, I think this offense in whole is going to take a step back as far as the passing game goes, because I think they might want to get Saquon Barkley really involved into this offense. Now, I'm not saying, it's not going to be elite. It's not going to be there. I still love A.J. Brown. I love Devonta Smith. I love Jalen Hurts. And I wouldn't say I love, but I kind of like Jahan Dotson, the new wide receiver they acquired from the Commanders. But the offense in general is going to be pretty good. I just think Dallas Goedert is kind of the last fiddle in this offense. So the last person is going to be getting his touches is going to be Goedert. And unfortunately, he just had to stumble one spot back for me. I still think if you can get him at a good ADP value, I think he can still produce decent numbers for your fantasy football team. I'm not out on Dallas Goedert. I'm just a little bit lower than a lot of other people do. So come here at number 14. I had to go Pat Freiermuth, the guy that I jumped up another spot. And a lot of it is due to Arthur Smith and coming to this offense, and he loves to target the tight end position. I think that no matter who's there, whether it's going to be Russell Wilson, whether it's going to be Justin Fields, I think Pat Freiermuth is going to be into this offense. There's no wide receivers other than George Pickens on this field that I'm really worried about. I'm not worried about Van Jefferson. I'm not worried about Roman Wilson. None of those guys. I think Pat Freiermuth will be the second option in this offense and is going to produce some solid fantasy numbers for you. And you can get Pat Freiermuth at an absolute steal. Nobody is caught up to this whole way of thinking right now. People are like, oh, Pat Freiermuth. No, don't worry about it. Guys, last season, he had a down season and was still a top 7 tight end last season. Come on, guys. You got to draft Pat Freiermuth. Get him on your team. I think he's a great value. I love him for 2024. Moving right along here at number 15. I'm going with Hunter Henry. I had to jump him up a spot, and hear me out, guys. Hunter Henry is the main focal point for the Patriots offense. He could be the number 1 wide receiver for the offense. It's kind of like a Bills situation where the Bills are going with Dalton Kincaid. I think that the Patriots are going to have to go through and run the offense through Hunter Henry. You're going to eventually have a rookie quarterback in there, whether it's Jacoby Brissett starting or Drake May ends up coming in there. Maybe even Joe Milton. He's blowing up the scene, but they can't do that over Drake May. But either way it goes, the safety blanket is always going to be the tight end position. Hunter Henry can get the job done. We've seen that when he played for the Chargers, right? So I think until these wide receivers start to develop, whether, it's Jalen Polk or Javon Baker, maybe even KJ Osborne or Douglas or whoever's going to be catching the football for these guys, the one mainstay that is set it right now is going to be Hunter Henry. He could be the benefactor for that, easily in my top 15 for my tight ends. I had to jump him up a couple spots. Let's move it right along here. Number 16, somebody who dropped down 3 spots for me. That's going to be Dalton Schultz, and let me kind of explain my thinking here. Yes, he re-signed to come back with the Houston Texans, but with all the pieces that they added into this offense, whether it's Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, right? We still got Nico Collins and Tank Dell out there. There's so many mouths to feed, and we have a second-year quarterback that's going to be relied on to make fantasy relevance to multiple options here. And I think the odd man out here, almost like the Eagles offense, is going to be the tight end position in Dalton Schultz. Will he have some really good weeks? Yeah, he will. Will he have some weeks where you're like just banging your fist against your head saying, man, why did I start him this week? Absolutely, right? So I had to take him out of my top 15. I still like Dalton Schultz, just not as high as a lot of these other guys. So moving right along here, number 17, had to bump him up a couple spots. That's Tyler Conklin, guys. I like what he can provide. He's a good fantasy tight end. People really don't know a lot about this guy, or not even really thinking about him. But with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, you can see him probably maybe target this guy, other than, you have Garrett Wilson out there. Will Mike Williams stay healthy? And then it's going to be a lot of Tyler Conklin, right? Maybe handing the football off to Breece Hall, of course. But he's going to be a part of this. He's going to be fantasy viable. He's a back-end tight end. If you want to punt tight end, and you end up with Tyler Conklin, you draft him towards the back end of your draft, and you have him as your starting tight end, he's still going to be able to produce points for you. Maybe even close to 10 points a game. That's completely fine for Tyler Conklin. Maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. That's probably where you're looking at on a week in and week out basis with some spike weeks. So I do like Tyler Conklin. I had to put him here at number 17 for me. And I got somebody new in here. I'm going Juwan Johnson. Knowing that he is activated off the PUP list and going to be a part of this offense, I had to put him into my top 20. He's a touchdown guy, right? And again, the receiving options for the New Orleans Saints, we just don't know what's going on right now, right? We know Chris Olave is the guy. We got Rashid Shaheed as a deep threat. Will it be A.T. Perry as that third guy? Will it be Cedric Wilson? Or will it be Juwan Johnson? You got Hill. He's kind of like the jackknife of everything. But Juwan Johnson's a big body tight end that can get the job done, catch these touchdown passes, and be fantasy relevant for you. I like what he provides for your teams. I just like Juwan Johnson. You got to get him on your teams for 2024. I really like this guy. Coming here at number 19, I've got somebody that's going to miss probably half the season. That's TJ Hawkinson. Had to still put him in here in my top 20 because there's a lot of cock-a-doodle on the NFL rosters, right? Now, could you argue maybe Ben Sinnott be up here or some of these guys? Yeah, of course. But the fact is, TJ Hawkinson is absolutely elite when he's on the football field. Now, people saying, yo, Bingo, think about this. He's missing half the season. It might take a little bit for him to ramp up. And he's got a cock-a-doodle quarterback, right? And Sam Darnold at the quarterback position. I get all that. And I would agree. I probably would not draft TJ Hawkinson this season, but I just think when all the numbers are done at the end of the season and you add up all of these numbers, I think TJ Hawkinson has a good chance of being a top 20 tight end in the NFL, because you got to think about that. Once you get down to this ranges, there's not a lot of fantasy points needed to be into the top 20, guys. There's not. Right, so I think he still has an opportunity, and when I reevaluate these rankings a little bit down the line, Hawkinson may not even be in my top 20. You know what I mean? I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm just adjusting these. I don't want to adjust them too crazy, for my thoughts. But as I do more evaluation, more thoughts, and put more of my emotions into this, he's fallen. He is fallen, and I would probably avoid TJ Hawkinson at all costs, guys. But coming in at number 20, another person I'm not very high on. I'm going to say Luke Musgrave. I'm actually higher on Tucker Kraft than I am on Luke Musgrave. I just think the offense in general, if Luke Musgrave can somehow stay healthy, okay, I'm good. Go ahead, he'll be fine. I just don't think that he's going to stay healthy enough to provide solid elite numbers from week 1 all the way back to the end of the season, right? So Luke Musgrave, even though I have him here at number 20, I'm not very high on him. I would rather draft Tucker Kraft myself. I just think he's a better receiving tight end than Luke Musgrave is. A lot of people may disagree with me, and that's completely okay. Put it down in the comments below. Who are you, Team Musgrave or Team Kraft? Let me know. Either the way he goes, the Packers offense is going to be running on all cylinders, and he's going to have to throw the tight end position. So I have to put the number 1 tight end for the Green Bay Packers here at number 20. But guys, that goes over my top 20 tight ends for 2024. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are pumping out videos each and every week to help you best dominate your leagues and prepare you for your fantasy football drafts, guys. Again, leave a comment down below. Who did I leave out of the top 20 that you guys would have put into the top 20? And I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.